Harris sneaks out another BS win to stay unbeaten. Virgo finally falls. Captain and Smalls still have yet to rise. And Hagen has to eat a dog treat. All this and more. Who's ready for the Week 5 weekly wrap up, baby? So, quick preview of the week that was. Virgo fell for the first time all season at the hands of the Muff Stuffer. Barlow doubled Hayes' score. Donald Trump talked about grabbing a sexy model's pussy and people freaked out. Hagen still blows. Captain still hasn't won yet, but we're all rooting for him. Raleigh pulls off some magic. 3 teams changed their fantasy names. And oh yeah, Harris sneaks out another win. Things started going a little bit back to normal though, as perennial powerhouses McGowan, Barlow, and Raleigh put up big games. Xander and Blue, they got to the peak in the roller coaster, in what is just always a roller coaster career for those two. Xander still has made more toilet bowls than playoffs. Interesting fact of the day. Hayes and Bell were the low scorers, which is where they sometimes are. Especially you, Colin. I love you though. Let's start with the week's most dominant performance. Inside Pontra's asshole, 152. Reed's Rascals, 74. Barlow is just on a roll. This is very reminiscent of the year the Patriots slid through an unbeaten season and went all the way to the Super Bowl. How'd that one end again? Hayes, we all know your butthole was a little tender from Harris's visit, and Barlow took over right where he left off and made sure you'd be shitting pancakes for the week. At 1-4, Hayes has a must-win game ahead against his biggest rival, and he's desperately hoping Harris doesn't bend him over for a second straight week. Polanski's Sacky Balls, new team name, beat Killicam and the Savages 110-95. So Hagen has to eat a dog treat. Hagen, the decision to pick up Fozzie over Cameron Artis Payne ended up costing you an opportunity to win your first game. The Hagatron has lost 6 straight games and hasn't won a game since he decided to throw the season finale last year. So now you've got to start to wonder if the sports gods have passed along the curse from the Cubbies over to the Hagatron. We're all waiting to see if there's a little life out of the mediocre Hagatron team, but it just appears like he's sleeping with his eyes open yet again. His team is worse than the SC LSU Mud Dogs in the first half of the Bourbon Bowl, and unfortunately for Smalls, I don't see no Bobby Boucher on his squad. It seems like every year, Blue is just about there. He's just got a few missing pieces. We'll see if this is the year, but with the 3-headed toad consisting of Terrence West, Latavius Murray, and Ryan Matthews manning his backfield, Gronk's going to have to start running the ball if you're going to want to win. Freaks and Zeeks, 118, 2008 Detroit Lions, a.k.a. Evan Captain, 72. Captain, whether it's first round pick AP's torn meniscus, Alshon Jeffrey having just one double-digit game on the season, or Matthew Stafford refusing to throw passes to that dude named Bronze Tate, nothing seems to go right for the Pledge Class Mexican. I have as many touchdowns as your starting running back Lamar Miller. Hell, even your defense sucks. You've allowed 107 points or more in 4 of your 5 games, and McGowan was the only one kind enough to drop 94 on you. Captain changed his team name to the 2008 Detroit Lions. The only problem with that is the Lions were professional. His team sucks worse than the Cucumbas pre-Keanu Reeves. You're a weird man, Cucumbas. Xander, every week but one, your team has had under 5 points from the tight end position. But you know what? The Tom Brady, Ezekiel Elliott duo looks like one of the most lethal weapons since Danny Glover and Mel Gibson graced the big silver screen in the fourth installment of the franchise. Let's talk about Lynn Squan winning 79-69 over the Billy Goats. Ugly game altogether, but still you have to give it up to Harris Lee Clinton. Props to staying unbeaten. Squan seemingly came back down to earth this week. It's just a shame that the Billy Chokes were lost at sea in Hurricane Matthew. Hey, bye. Meyer loves the Ditka, new team name. Beat Keenan 125-60. Coming into the weekend, Raleigh had 7 players on bye, including his quarterback, 2 best running backs, top wide receiver. So 4th consecutive loss seemed inevitable. He filled his 6 of his 9 starting spots with a motley crew of players that haven't even spent as much of a day on anyone else's roster. But his ability to stand tough against the wall and always being able to deliver that much needed knockout punch typifies why Matthew Berry refers to him as the Vince Lombardi of the fantasy football world. So Harris, enjoy your undefeated season while it lasts, because I'm coming for that ass, boy. Keenan, no matter how impressive of a game he has, when your kicker is your team's leading scorer and amounts to almost half of your team's total points, it's not going to be pretty. It was just an ugly game for Keenan. Ed Hockley's biceps pulled off the victory 114-87 over Trolling for Whiskey. Virgo, I guess the whiskey has finally caught a case of the whiskey dick. And as we all know, a flaccid dick is no match for good old Ed Hockley's biceps. The West Coast Wedge put up a valiant effort, but McGowan is just a little bit too strong. Virgo would have really benefited from having an easy matchup this week against someone like, Captain or Harris, because he would have beaten both of them. McGowan is just keeping up a winning season, really under the radar, casually just swimming the waters like the shark he is, waiting to attack the weakest of the lot and the strongest of the lot. He's always one of the top teams, and nobody ever talks about him enough. I'll change that up next week, Connor, if you win. So this week's Fratacy Move of the Week, and you G to be kidding me. So for the Fratacy Move of the Week, I'm normally not one to toot my own horn, but come on. These were guys that everyone else in the league had pushed to the side and picked over, and they picked up the Zach Zenners and the Fozzie Whitakers of the world. And the 6 of these players alone had more points than Harris's group of his usual starters. That lineup management would have even wowed Dayton more. Who the fuck would pick up a dude named Jaquiz anyways? And he was playing a stout Panthers D. Hagen had no idea someone named Sammy could do anything resembling success in fantasy football. And I rode his coats, no pun intended, all the way to the second most points in the league for the week. Still pretty low on the season. Side note, if anyone wants Jaquiz Rogers or Sammy Coates, they are on the trade block. The UG to be kidding me. Hayes, it's not going to you. Don't worry. Chris Bell. The stars had a line for you to ruin the majestic, undefeated run that Harris has going. Only one player on his team had over 11 points. And even Julio fucking Jones decided to have 44 less points than last week. Put up 2. It was gift wrapped, bow tied, and had a label with your name signed in perfect cursive. And boom! Just like that, Hurricane Matthew snatched it away. So for those of you who paid attention to last week's episode, the Quick Hit segment will feature a guest reading from a random non-league member and you can expect some surprise appearances here throughout the year. There's already a waiting list of people to be the guest for this segment, and I am only going to pick those select individuals who I personally believe can shine on and off the screen, has a decent sense of humor, and embodies what it takes to do the reading of the weekly wrap-up duties. I'm very excited for our first guest, and I hold him to the same high standards of humor, perfect delivery, and just absolutely cute facial gestures that I hold myself to. I fully expect him to set the bar as Harris.
Thank you so much, Ryan, and everyone for letting me be this week's Quick Hits guest host. Thank you so much. It's beyond an honor. Let's just dive right in. When Colin Hayes signed on as executive producer of the Emmy Award-nominated weekly wrap-up, did he forget he still had a team to run? It's a good question. Hagen is such a fucking dumbass. He thought he actually had a chance to win a game. That's kind of funny in and of itself. Lacking subtlety, but funny. Colin's team makes him so mad, it might as well be called Chambo's Instagram feed. Kind of thought we were all friends here. I don't know who's quicker to grab a woman by the pussy. Donald Trump in 2005 or Colin Hayes with Vasu in 2010. Back-to-back, directed at Colin. With as painful as the former Hayworth Dormitory RA's winning streak has been on us, it pales in comparison to the toll it's taken on Leo. The GDI has cut the dessert menu down to strictly peanut butter lollipops every night until there's something other than a 0 in the loss column. The streak has lasted so long, the nearest grocery store with peanut butter in stock is in Hutchinson. And I threw a few of my own in here. Bear with me. It's called Adam's Rapid Roundup. Hopefully you can dub like a gunfire over that or something. Must be tough for the 3 Texans in the league. Mexicans come in from the south and take your jobs, and everyone else from the north takes your wins. Andy is 5-0, largely due to the incompetence of his opponents. That's not a joke, that's a statement. Andy's 5-0 record is about as impressive as the kid who pops in Madden 06, puts the difficulty on beginner, creates his own 7'5" quarterback with all 99 ratings, and beats the computer by 40. Keenan put about as much effort into this week's matchup as he did with his team name. Captain's team name is the 2008 Detroit Lions, but its record is much closer to 2013 Detroit bankruptcy. Thank you. And as the new tradition, we'll close out the weekly wrap-up with Old Man Blues Knee Slapper of the Week. Hagen must be emotionally constipated with his fantasy game because he hasn't given a shit this whole year. That's funny. Tell your girl to jingle your bells and you'll guarantee her a white Christmas. That's it. Thank you so much, Commissioner Ryan, and everyone for allowing me to guest host. It was an honor. Good luck to you the rest of the year.